Hi, I'm Mr. Kangas, and today we're going to be taking a look at Chapter 12, Section 3, and this is going to be on Box and Whisker Plots. If you did well with Chapter 12, Section 2, Measures of Variation, Box and Whisker Plots aren't really much different. It's just I guess basically you would describe it as a different way of showing the inner quartile range, the median, and the lower and upper extremes. Basically, the way a box and whisker plot works is you'll have a set of data on a number line. Okay, let's say the data ranges. Let's say the number line will go from 0 to 100. So your data is somewhere within the 0 to 100 range. Let's say your median falls at the number 60. Let's say this is our median. And then, basically, if you remember correctly, before when you're finding the inner quartile range, you needed to find the median of your data. So we're going to say that the median of my data is at 60. Okay? So I have this whole set of data of all these numbers, and the median is 60. So 60 is where my median is, and so I'm going to make a line there above the 60. At this point, you want to find your lower and upper quartiles because we're looking to find the inner quartile range. And so let's say that your lower quartile ended up being at 35. And your upper quartile ended up being at, let's say, 75. So you make a line above the median, the lower, and the upper quartiles, and then basically you connect those lines and you create a box. Okay, so there's the box part of the box and whisker plot. The middle line here represents your median. The lower line is your lower quartile. The upper line is your upper quartile. Now, the whiskers are just simply the lowest data value and the highest data value. So if the lowest number in your set of data is, let's say, 7, okay? So we'll make a little dash over here at 7. Let's say the lowest piece of data you have is at 7. Then you're going to put a dot above the 7 and draw a line up to the lower quartile. Let's say your highest piece of data is at 90. So here's the 90, the dot, and the whisker. So the dot on the left side represents your lowest data value, or your lowest piece of data. Dot to the right represents your highest piece of data. What is the highest number? Okay. Now, in certain box and whisker plots, the dots or the whiskers sometimes represent different things, but the most common representation of the whiskers is the lowest piece of data and the highest piece of data. So really that's all there is to box and whisker plots. We're just taking what we learned in 12.2 and we're adding a very more of an organizational structure to it. So instead of finding the inner quartile range and the median and the lowest and highest sets of data, we now have kind of a visual structure to it. We're still doing all of that. We're still finding the inner quartile range, and we're still finding the median and the highest and lowest piece of data, but now we have a visual structure to it. Now we can actually see the lower and upper quartiles. We can see the inner quartile range in a very visual way. So it's not anything, there's no new skills compared to 12.2, it's just now we have a visual structure that we can put in place when we're finding these things. We have kind of a picture we can draw that represents all the stuff we learned in 12.2. So that's all there really is to Chapter 12, Section 3. If you have any questions, let me know. Remember, you can pause the video at any time. Don't forget to take notes, please. Thank you.